So now that black slip is dried to a certain extent, I want to flip this piece over, and I want to do that. I want to do this whole process fairly quickly because this is a soft slab project. It's a little stuck, so I can just take my rib and go around the edge to break that seal. Probably best to go around the whole thing. If it's stuck in one place, it's probably going to be stuck all around. I'm just going to grab underneath and gently flip it over, trying to avoid these hard edges. I don't want to mess up this beautiful abstract expressionist surface that I've created. Okay. So I'm finding the far edge. I'm just gently holding it in my hands and let it make contact and roll down so that it doesn't deform. Okay. Any weird marks that I made with my rib, now I want to smooth again this side. Even out that weirdness. And now this is going to be my inside, and initially I was thinking, wow, I wanted to just kind of duplicate that same gestural pattern on the inside, but as I think about it, I'm thinking, well, I might be too busy. I think I may want to just do a solid color, and I think I'm just going to do a solid color of black over this whole surface. See how that works. You know, I just think that this, I'm starting to think a little bit more about it, thinking, oh, well, the center, I want it to be calm and serene. I just don't want it to be chaotic. You know, a lot of the times we have a lot of chaos going on around us, but if we can stay centered and calm, that chaos is not going to get to us. It's all around us, there's nothing you can do about it, but you can start looking at yourself and how you're dealing with it, how you're reacting. Just start thinking about how you want to start talking about your work. You know, it's fine to say, oh, well, I just make what I think is cool. And that's a great place to start, you know. And then you can start to investigate, well, what else, what do I think is cool aside from what I do? And I'm sure you have a pretty good grasp of that. And start to equate possibly the cool things you're doing and what you like to do in your artistic process with what others have done in their artistic process, or perhaps what you've seen in nature, in your surroundings, what you think is cool. Maybe you like parts, you like decay, you like gears, you like man-made things, you like this or that. You like total chaos, you like calm, you understand there's a duality, you want to bring those two together. What is it you're doing when you're creating? Do you feel calm? Do you want other people to feel calm when they see your work? Does your work transform you? Does it take you from a place of chaos to a place of calm? And do people see that? And does that matter? if they do or do not see what you're feeling. Maybe they're feeling the opposite of what you're feeling, and that can be really interesting. So I'm just coating this piece, and it's when I apply this slip, this slab is getting really soft because I'm adding moisture to it. So I'm going to have to come back and check on this slab a couple times to see when it's perfect for putting into the mold. Because if I just let this sit for maybe 5-10 minutes, I think it's still going to be pretty floppy. And I want it to set up just a little bit so that it's a little bit easier for me to handle, to put into the mold. Timing is everything in clay. That's the most difficult part, is understanding what the clay can do when it's, say, leather hard, when it's super soft, I believe is the other technical term for when it's really soft. That's some clay jargon for you. I mean, hard leather, leather hard, what's that all about? Who works in leather these days? A couple people, but it's not like super commonplace. Hard plastic, I don't know. Why do we use these terms to keep other people out? Is it for better understanding of the process, or is it to keep people out of the loop to make us feel superior? It's another thing you can be thinking about as you're painting away here on your blank canvas. Okay. Keep your slip covered. If it gets too dried out, you can always add a little bit of water. I would add a little bit at a time until it gets to the right consistency that you like. It's easier to add water to this than to subtract water from it, okay? But if it does get too wet, if it's too watery, let it sit for a couple days and that water will be on the top, and you can just kind of dump that, a little bit of that top water off to thicken up your slip. So this is all nice and covered, and I am going to check all the edges very thoroughly, turn this around, make sure I've checked all the edges, and come back in a couple minutes to drop it into the mold.